let's start with our first question. Everyone sees your laid-back persona, and they see, like, everyone's like, oh, man, he's the prototypical Cali guy. But what's life like for Urijah Faber? Like, what do you do every day?
For me, man, I'm actually extremely busy. I try to stay laid back. I keep myself, really, really busy. It's something that I'm used to. Ever since I was a kid, I've been juggling a lot of things, so that's kind of the best way that I operate. Just try to keep a good attitude about everything. But I'm definitely born and raised in Cali and always trying to represent, though.
What's the craziest thing a female has done or a female fan has done to be around you? Like, the girls on our sites love you. So what's the craziest story you have that, like, a girl did to get around you or get an autograph or something?
Man, I don't know about one that really stands out as far as something crazy, but I've seen all sorts of stuff, man. I mean, people flying to get in and saying they're friends with people that I don't even know. I mean, there's some pretty outlandish shit, but I had a couple of chicks get tattoos, and guys for that matter too. Some kind of crazy fans out there.
Yeah, definitely.
They also go roundabout and like start researching all your family and all your trying to get in your like social circles and stuff like that. But I can't think of anything in particular that one person's done that stands out.
That's crazy. It's like wedding crashers. They look up your whole family tree. Oh, along the same lines, your hair. Everyone always goes to your hair. That's the first thing people think about when they think Urijah Faber is the hair and just letting it flow. Has it ever been a problem in fighting? Is it something you ever just like, man, I got to cut this or something like that?
Yeah, I was just having a conversation today because my hair is getting, long enough now to the point where I can, I'm trying to decide whether or not I can cornrow it for this fight. And, it matters. Like, when we're in big fights and every little bit counts, if your hair is bouncing every time you get hit, to look at the judges, it is something that to be considerate about. I kind of think about, but as far as being a real issue, the reason I cornrow it most of the time is to keep it out of my eyes. So, I've never really had an issue with it in my eyes in a fight, but in practice it happens all the time. That's why I wear a little hair tie on top of my head sometimes.
All right, let's take it back a little bit, though. When did you begin fighting? Like, what got you into MMA and competing?
I started out as a wrestler. I've always been a big fan of mixed martial arts. All my favorite movies were combat movies, and my favorite sports were boxing and football and, all the contact stuff. So I've been just kind of drawn to it since I was a young kid. But I actually started wrestling in the 8th grade, and then carried that through high school and then through college. And right after I graduated college, I started doing some jiu-jitsu and then some boxing and kickboxing. So that was the beginning of it. And I took a fight like a month after I graduated college. Right after I started training, I was ready to go.
When did you notice, like, man, this is going to be my career? Like, I'm going to be a pro. I'm going to be good at this. Do you have, like, a specific time that you noticed, like, yeah, this is it for me?
Well, I already had the confidence that I would be really good at it. I just thought before I started, there's no one that could beat me up. I had that mentality. And then as far as making a career out of it, took some time. I think my first fight, I got $200 to show up to fight, and an extra $200 to win. So that was kind of the beginning of me making a little bit of cash, but it wasn't much. To me at the time, it seemed like a lot because I was about to start substitute teaching, which was like $11 an hour or $12 an hour at the time. And so, $400 $400 plus I got $50 for selling tickets. I got like $450 or maybe almost $500 altogether. And I was like, man, that's a lot of free money. It only took me 2 minutes to fight the guy. So, I started being impressed with that little bit of cash right off the bat, even though it wasn't much.
Definitely. One thing I know a lot of fans want to know is, what's the atmosphere like at Team Alpha Male and just in the gym? You guys seem like one of the closest knit groups in the sport, really. So what's the atmosphere like? What's it like training there?
Man, it is. It's a real close-knit group of guys. We have I've always tried to lead by example and how to treat other people. Try not to pick on people and be negative. Try to keep a good attitude. And, nothing's ever perfect, of course, like any type of family situation or team situation. But for the most part, everyone's moving in the right direction as far as staying positive and encouraging each other. And the biggest thing is having fun. We have a great culture with our team where we, celebrate each other's victories and console each other with losses. Someone that has life events like birthdays or marriages or anything, we all try to stay kind of involved. So there's definitely little cliques within the team, and but overall, it's just kind of a fun place to be.
Definitely, and along those same lines, you came up a little short against Barral, but then you see your teammate T.J. Dillashaw win the title. So what was that like for you? And I've seen the pictures. You're right behind him. You have a bigger smile than he does after the fight. What was like that? What was it like for you to see him win?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. TJ's been almost like an understudy for 4.5 years now, and one of the hardest working guys in the gym. Always putting in the extra time, and actually a guy that I've had to kick out of the gym because he pushes himself so much. So to see him get that victory and get that world championship was huge. It was a great motivator for the rest of the team, and it was one of those things where it's something we've wanted. It's only been, the UFC's only had our weight class for a couple of years, but to have a title come to the team right now is just perfect for the progression of what we're trying to build here.
Is it true that when that fight kind of opened up late, TJ got the fight because you went to Dana and said, "Man, this kid needs it. He's gonna win"?
Yeah, I had a discussion with Dana. Well, first after my loss, I gave TJ a shout out. Said, this guy deserves it, and that's purely because I thought TJ would be able to beat Barral. I actually thought, the year prior I had those four big wins in a row, and so had I not had that great year, I think TJ was on track to get a title shot before me. But I had four big wins, and he lost to Suntao, so I kind of got put in front. But I knew that he had the ability, so that's why I threw his name out there. And then I sat down with Dana over something else, and I was just talking about all the stuff that TJ does in practice and how his mean streak and all this stuff, and I think it helped out with the situation for sure.
And going forward, I mean, we talked about how you guys, are like a family unit, but you guys are so close in weight. There's talented people in every division in your gym. So obviously, if one of you guys want to challenge for the title, you're going to run into each other sooner or later. Is that something you think about? Is that something you and TJ talk about? Like, man, your next title shot will probably be against me.
I don't really have a desire to fight the guy. It would have to be a discussion that we would have. And, I've been along in this sport for a long time, and I've fought guys that are my friends, guys like Scotty Jorgensen and Brian Bowles and Eddie Weinland. Those are all guys that I feel like are cool guys that I've fought. But I've never fought anyone that close to me, so it would be kind of strange for me. It's not something I want to do. And I have a lot of fights out there that I can still have. So I'm just going to keep doing the fights that are in front of me. And if that becomes a real discussion at some point, I'll have to have that with Dana and Lorenzo and my managers and TJ. But I'm not looking to do it.
Definitely. Like you're talking about, plenty of fights ahead of you. What makes you stay so active? You're one of the most active fighters in the sport. I believe it's like 7 fights now in a 2-year span. What pushes you to just keep fighting and take whatever fight they kind of throw at you?
I enjoy the sport. That's the biggest thing. And, I have a hard time turning down a fight. That's why I'm in this game. It's something that I enjoy to do and I'm good at. It's also how I make a living. So, it just makes sense for me to stay busy, especially getting older. I'm 35, which is young in a lot of different professions, but as a professional fighter, I'm seasoned now. I've been in the sport 11 years. So, staying active makes a lot of sense.
Definitely. Touching on that, 35, obviously there's fighters that go on way past 35 and have still successful careers, but how long do you see yourself fighting still? Or is that something that even pops into your mind?
I don't know. I have a lot of different interests, but the fight game is still my passion. So when it stops being fun for me and I stop enjoying the process, that's why I want to call it quits. And I'm not great at planning. I don't know if it's going to be right now or if it's going to be in a few years. I feel like this year I'm excited about fighting, and I don't see that changing necessarily. But it's not anything I have planned. Like I'll be fighting for 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years, or anything like that. It's going to be kind of a feel thing. What do I feel like in my heart? And I don't know right now.
Definitely. Entering the Barao fight, people said you were probably fighting the best of your career, coming off of those 4 straight wins. Do you feel a difference, like at 35 compared to 25 or something? Do you feel like, obviously it doesn't look like you've lost a step. Do you think you've gained anything? What's the difference between you then and then you now?
I think I'm a lot smarter right now with my training, and it's kind of a funny thing. I was definitely overtrained for a good portion of my career. That's what allowed me to make the gains that I did and gain the skill level that I have. And I've seen other guys on our team. TJ Dillashaw, definitely an overtrained guy. Justin Benavidez, who's probably a guy that's started out overtraining. Chris Holdsworth, right now, I'm having to talk with him because he's always overtraining. Danny Castillo, he's the guy that's overtrained throughout the years. And when I say overtrained, that means breaking your body down instead of being conscious of it. But part of that overtraining process is getting your skill level, up to a certain caliber. And I feel like I've got my skill level up to a real high caliber, and now I'm smarter about how I treat my body, about the peaking process, about training smart, not beating your body up in the training camp, and so I've learned a lot on that front. And then just a lot of the fight game is the mental game. I've always lived that way, but I'm a lot more conscious of it now. It's about what you believe and a lot more goes into a win than just training hard and being around the right people. It's a mentality, and it's been fun to be able to pass that on to the younger guys.